What is going on with the Mesa, Arizona housing market? Is there going to be a crash? Is the bottom going to fall out? Or was the bottom already here? Welcome back to the channel. It's Rich Brecklin, your Arizona real estate agent with Real Broker. Today's video, we're going to do a deep dive into the Mesa, Arizona housing market. As someone who is boots on the ground, has clients actively buying and selling in Mesa, and actually, my office is in Mesa as I look out the window and see those beautiful sunny skies. We're going to go over a lot of different things. So, a lot of you probably see what is being reported by the media, and there are some truths to that, and then not true, some more clickbait type of content. So, first things first, let's go over where rates are. And we all know rates were at a really great spot for buyers and honestly for sellers alike, and that helped drive up this housing frenzy that we experienced. And then rates rose starting in May and June of 22, and they dropped down in January and then started to go up a little bit not too long ago, about a week and a half ago, above 7. And now with the Silicon Valley Bank collapse and everything else, they have fallen down to under 7, 6.5 on average. So it depends on your credit score and everything else, but that is a good sign for what we'll see in this market. Now, currently, this right here is just Mesa, single family detached. So we currently have 703 active listings. Don't look at this because I did not pull pending and sold, with an average list price of 604, median of 510, and average time on market is around 81 days, median around 47, which is in line with the market. So this here is a Cromford report. This is the entire market stats, and I'm going to show you just some info so you can compare this with the Mesa. Now, we won't go through all of this, but pending listings across the market is up from last month slightly, and also up from last quarter quite a bit. Listings under contract is up from last month and last quarter, and days on market is down slightly, and days on market average or active homes hang around the same. But one of two stats I really like to see is the month supply of inventory, 2.3 months supply left, which is technically a seller's market, and the listing success rate almost at 80%. Really a normal number is 65%. So again, this is in the seller's favor. An average monthly sales price in our market, 533. Again, that's across the market, up from last month, up from last quarter. Not quite to where we were at a peak a year ago, but up from 2 years ago, and definitely up from 3 years ago. And then the Cromford Market Index, again, indicating a seller's market since it is above 100. Now we're going to go right into the Mesa numbers. So again, the active listings here, this is showing all of the active listings. So at 929, down from last month and last quarter, but obviously we have more than we had during the COVID frenzy. And then when it comes to the pending listings, pretty much the same as last month, but up from last quarter. So buyers are taking advantage of that rate dip that we had in end of December into January. Now, it will be interesting to see what these numbers do as rates had gone up, before these numbers came out today. And I think we'll see some of these, these lagging indicators down the road that show there was a slight pullback. But I think if rates, depending on what the Fed does with this whole banking issue, that would bring some buyers back into the market, especially for the spring market, which gets busy anyway. And it may also cause some inventory to hit that we're otherwise putting things on pause, because a lot of sellers out there, well, they've had their home, maybe they paid $500 for it, and to get the same house, they're going to have to pay $750 for it. And most people who want to upgrade, so that means they're going to look at probably a $900,000, $950, and they'll be trading in that 3% rate, which would have been over a 7%. And now they can get into the low 6s. If you're getting a seller concession, into the 5s even. So if you're a buyer seller, using a seller concession if possible, and able to negotiate for, definitely recommended if possible. And then here in Mesa, sales per month, it is up from last month and from last quarter. So that is a good sign, showing an improvement in the market. But a lot of this, again, is rate related and supply and demand. So rate isn't everything. I know a lot of people will send me comments, well, rates have gone up, so home prices got to fall. They have to. Well, yeah, that is part of it, and usually it's something I would bet the farm on. However, supply and demand is another very important factor when it comes to this. This conversation with just rate, it can't be just rate. We have to look at supply and demand. And right now, we just do not have the supply that is needed to for all the people moving here and businesses moving here. I mean, in the market, we saw there's 2.3 months of inventory. In Mesa, we're at 1.6 months. So that is a strong seller's market, even though the buyer demand may not quite be there, but it's there enough because of the lack of supply. And we are down in inventory from last month and last quarter. When I saw that number going up last quarter, again, that was in the fall, we had over 17,000 homes for sale in our market. And then it stopped. And we had sellers not put their homes up, and we saw inventory fall. And then when the rates dipped in January, that really created a lot more of that buyer, I won't say pressure, but that buyer demand. So something to keep an eye on for sure. And then active listings, price per square foot, down slightly, and but not doing too much there. Under contract per square foot, hanging around the same. We'll keep an eye on that as well. Across the market, we have gone up in uh, homes sold, dollar per square foot has gone up. So again, an interesting metric to pay attention to, especially when the rates were rising. Now with rates pulling back, I suspect that number to go up again. Time will tell. Just the trends we're seeing. I don't get married to any particular set of beliefs. I just like to report. Here's what the numbers are. Here's what we're seeing. In real time, boots on the ground with my clients, and just in the market itself, not necessarily what feels good to say. And then we're going to go down to the listing success rate, and 82.7%, up from last month of 72%, and from last quarter at 62%. So that is a huge change. And I don't know, there's a lot of different factors that go on here, but I think maybe some sellers are getting the hint. You can't just put a sign in the yard, price it any way you want. I have clients under contract on a beautiful home right now, 4 bedrooms, beautiful pool in Mesa at 575, and the home is priced under where I would have listed it and what it should have sold and what it was appraised at. And it was show ready. Looked amazing. Thankfully, we were able to get in there early, get it locked up before anyone else could, and my clients got a heck of a deal on that one. But moving on. So again, listing success rate, though, something to pay attention to, especially as we niche down in each market, because real estate is hyper local. And then average monthly sales price. So 508, again, lagging indicator, and then up from last month and slightly up from last quarter, but not down too far from almost where the peak was for average monthly sales price from a year ago, but up quite a bit from 2 years ago, and it's going to be up even more from 3 years ago. And then annual sales, again, down a little bit, but that's annual. And then median is up as well. And then another average monthly sales, we're right around the same from where we were last month, last quarter, and the last 2 years. Now, contract ratio, that is an equation looking at active listings, pending listings, sold listings, and that is a strong indicator of being in a seller's market. That is a hot market indicator. As you see here, the 378, we all know what it was like then. But when I saw that number start to fall back and pull back, and I saw the amount of homes not selling, I saw a huge opportunity there, again, on another avenue. So the real estate's always good for someone, but it's not always good for everyone. So again, people will win here and some people won there, usually sellers, or now the buyers who have the 3% rate. But at 89, that is indication of being in the seller's market on paper. Comfort supply index, again, not very good if you are a buyer, you just don't have the homes out there. And the demand index, it's going up. So above 100 is good for sellers and below is good for buyers. But when you have the supply index being low, then they really balance each other out. So with that supply issue, we'll see what happens when rates fall, if sellers are willing to trade in that low rate, put their home on the market, and then go buy another home. But for right now, that is keeping a lot of sellers from doing just that. And then the Crawford Market Index, remember 100 is balanced, below is a buyer's market, and above is a seller's. So we have gone up quite a bit, doubled from where we were last quarter. And again, that's what exactly we're seeing, boots on the ground, what I'm seeing with my clients, and how we've had to change our negotiating to get their homes under contract as a buyer or a seller. But 149.1, again, that was crazy times. It is funny when I look back and I see, the people who wanted to buy homes last year, and how many people want to buy homes over the last 2 years, and they almost gotten this, FOMO. They did not want to miss out on getting these low rates, when that was really the only thing they had going for them, because a lot of people were giving up, concessions, inspections, appraisals, going well above a list price, and I don't know. It just didn't make sense for some buyers to buy. I've talked quite a few buyers out of buying, and now those people are happy they did, because they had more control moving forward and were able to still get a good rate. It was not what they would have gotten, a year and a half ago, but with getting a seller concession, they were still able to buy down that rate. Now I'm going to show you some other metrics here. And this is really just on my website. So this is arizonalife.net. Again, this is my website, and feel free to go there, look at homes for sale. So if you're not familiar with Mesa, largest suburb in Phoenix, second largest city in Arizona, and located east. So bordering, Scottsdale, Tempe, Gilbert, Queen Creek, Apache Junction, but it covers a big area. And if you're looking for that luxury home, there's one right now listed for 5.5 million. Beautiful property, and all the way down. So I'm going to show you, just kind of that average, price range for what we're seeing right now in Mesa. So in the $500,000 to $600,000 range, just so you can get an idea of what can I get for that price point. Now, if you're looking for new construction, there are also some really great communities like Eastmark, one of my favorite master plan communities in Mesa, if that is something you are looking for. All right, so let's check out this one. I know nothing about this home, my first time seeing it, but they're listed at $599. This is 1,500 square feet, and I don't see how long they've been on the market, since February. And they started at $650. But looks like a nice home. I like the kitchen. But just kind of give you an idea. Now, there's always a deal out there for someone. So it depends on what it is you're looking for, the neighborhood, etc. There's always something out there we can find for my clients. But again, go to that website, search your little hearts out. But if you're looking to make the move to Mesa or anywhere in Arizona, please reach out. Follow me on Instagram at Rich Brecklin. Send me an email, give me a call. Happy to help. It's Rich Brecklin, real broker. Watch this next video, and I'll see you next time.